Hi, everyone, and welcome to Book Club with Bay. I am Bay, and this is Bay. Say hi, Bay.
Hi, Bay.
And today we are talking about Smoke Bitten, the 12th book in the Mercy Thompson series by Patricia Briggs. And this is really fun because this is an old staple of Book Club with Bay. We have been talking about Mercy Thompson since I had brown hair. So we've been talking about these books forever. This one just came out on the 17th of this month. So I'm going to go ahead and give this warning now, but we will continue to do so since this is a live broadcast. But this is Book Club with Bay, not spoiler-free book review with Bay. We will be talking about this book, so spoilers ahead. We will also probably be mentioning the events of the previous books, so spoilers for the entire series.
Yes.
Sorry.
Just because Mercy Thompson, we rate differently to our other series, and we give them an out of 10 rating plus also order.
Because it predates our food rating thing, actually.
Yes, it does. And because by we I mean Bay lost the list.
And she did it last time too. Wrote it down, I think, and then lost it.
Last time we reordered it. Yeah, you lost it last time, so we redid it. You wrote it down again, and then you lost it again. But because it was something that because it took us about 45 minutes to actually just get through the rankings in the last book, because we discussed it all. And in the last book, we also discussed the titling of each of the books in the series, because the last two books have been a little bit shady with their titling. Storm Cursed, we couldn't work out where the fuck the storm comes in.
Yes.
And Silence Fallen, like we kind of got, but we're also like it could have been named more aptly.
Yes.
I think the decision we made for the last book would have been Death Risen.
Yes.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
But this one, we have gone back to being appropriately named Smoke Bitten. It is relevant. Well done, Patty. You've done it. Because also, I'm pretty sure in the last one as well, or whenever the title of this book was announced, we were like, how the fuck can you be Smoke Bitten?
We figured it out.
We worked it out. So yay.
We worked it out.
It's aptly named. We thought this was going to be a shit show name again, but it wasn't.
Yes. Hi, Pat. How's it going? What I think we should do is go through our current ranking list before we throw this one in. We're going to do it. We're going to do this efficiently. Probably. Hopefully. Maybe. Probably not. This is book club. What can I say?
Our order of preference changes each time we re-listen to the series as well, because some books are more enjoyable to reread, and that changes our opinion. Like the first time we did Silence Fallen, that was our favorite book, and as of the last series, it was third to last until we added Storm Curse, which came in just below that. So it's fourth to last now.
You know what? I think, like, looking back on it, I think Silence Fallen was our favorite book that time because the twist at the end. And I'm like, you guys.
I think it was.
And I'm like, y'all, that's not enough.
I mean, that twist was like because again, usually with these series, also more often in Alpha Omega, but half the time in Mercy Thompson as well, you know what the plot twist is. You see it coming. Like, you don't care though. You don't care that you see it coming, but you know who the bad guy is, or you know whatever. You can feel the plot twist coming.
Yeah, because it's about like the fight. It's about like what's going on, because it's just not a big deal.
Yeah, but Silence Fallen had the plot twists of all plot twists, and re-listening to it, not like you can see that Adam knew that it was Bran the whole time, and it was worded in a way that works with it being Bran the whole time, but you didn't see it being Bran the whole time. Even re-listening to it, you're like, I don't. If I didn't know, I still wouldn't see it coming.
Right, exactly. But so our list as of last time The first one is Bone Crossed. Oh, also, real quick, our numerical rating system for Mercy Thompson is in relation to the other Mercy Thompson books. Every Mercy Thompson book, if we had to rate them out of 5 stars, would pretty much be like a 4.5 to 5.
Yeah.
Basically, if you're comparing them to all other books. So when we put numerical ratings like out of 10, it's in comparison to all the Mercy Thompson books, because basically, in our opinion, like Mercy Thompson books can do no wrong, more or less. Except like, you know.
Oh, they can do a lot wrong, but a lot of the wrong you don't actually mind while you're reading.
Exactly, because the thing is, what I personally, because we haven't talked about this in a very long time, I read a lot of urban fantasy, and I enjoy nothing more than I enjoy Mercy Thompson. I just really don't, because a lot of adult urban fantasy is interrupted by porn and bad writing and a lot of other stuff I just don't, and like terminology that I don't like, and like a lot of world building I don't like. There's just a lot of nitpicky stuff I don't like. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. You know what I don't think happened in this book? I don't think this happened in this book. Hi, meet Warren. Warren is gay.
Ben wasn't called a misogynist.
And Warren, it's acknowledged that he's gay, but it's not like, hi, this is Warren, he's gay. And Ben wasn't called a misogynist.
And Honey, oh no, we did talk about Honey, but it wasn't like the same kind of disdain.
It wasn't Honey hates me. There was no Honey hates me this book. Mercy's grown.
Round of applause.
Because anyone who has watched actually most of our streams would know that at least one of those three, like we usually bring up the hi, this is Warren, he's gay thing. But the other two, at least in all of the Mercy streams and some of our other streams as well, we always mention that. It's just like, leave Ben alone, leave Honey alone, and yes, we all know Warren's gay.
But in this one, like, she's actually, like, Ben is like my best friend and I love him. And
maybe Patty watches our streams.
Maybe.
I doubt it, but
I doubt it. But it was good. It was good. So, and like those nitpicks are so nitpicky, but it didn't happen this book.
Oh, honestly, to be fair, the Ben being called a misogynist, that's not being nitpicky for the sake of being nitpicky. That's like, what's wrong with you? He's lovely.
Yeah, exactly. But
we don't need to hashtag, well, in a way we do, but not in that way. We don't need to hashtag Team Ben in this book.
Yeah.
Because Mercy's Team Ben, so it's fine.
Also, she wasn't like, I hate Stefan for being bound to him.
I know, she was like, thank fuck I'm bound to him. I can, like,
we got progress.
I want to protect him. She's like, I want to protect that bond.
So Mercy's and you know what? I like it. It makes it makes the other stuff worth it.
Did you like the cameo that turned into a permanent reintroduction into the series? At the very end?
Yes.
Walkie.
Yes.
Walkie's back.
Yes. I was so excited.
Which all but confirms to me, which I think the next book will confirm, because I think they've got renewed for 3 more books. So at this point, next book will be the last book.
And I'm cool with that.
But I think, in my mind, it confirms to me that the series, because the book was meant to end on book 10, and they added 3 more books, and she's like, well, fuck, I'm going to come up with 3 more plots. But I've already destroyed the walking stick. So Mercy couldn't fall pregnant with twins. She couldn't be pregnant with twins. But I think Mercy, the series is meant to end with Mercy being pregnant with twins. Because she has the walking stick that makes twins. I've said that one a lot, but the fact that Walkie is back all but confirms that to me.
I'm excited. So the other thing that I really enjoyed in this book was just, we got it, and I have one nitpick about it. We got a full roll call in this book.
Except for one.
Except for
which
one.
you pointed out. I didn't notice it when I was listening, but then when you mentioned
every named major character in this book, except for one, is named.
We even get Baba Yaga mentioned again. Like we get random.
Like we didn't get the carrion crow, but like that's okay. That's not like and we
didn't get Yo-Yo Girl, so we missed out on some of the Fae, but that's fine because there's a shit ton of the Fae in the series.
But every major character got named except for Zach. What the fuck? We were in a pack meeting and you mentioned Elliot, but we didn't get Zach. When we were in the pack meeting,
we got
I was
George.
I was like,
Paul's dead, and we got Paul.
I was like, we have talked about everybody, and we're in a pack meeting. Everybody's here. Patty, where the fuck is Zach? And he wasn't there. We even talked about his dad. Not by name, but we mentioned a person that was haunted, which is his father in Prague, but we don't talk about him.
Also, this is not a recording Twitch chat. This is live.
But I did enjoy the fact that even though we didn't talk, because you can't talk to everybody, there's so many goddamn characters, but in most Mercy books, in all the Mercy books, you don't get a full roll call.
I've been asked to hold up 4 fingers, I guess, to prove that we are live, even though I just responded to them. 4 fingers. Carry on.
So we didn't. So like even in all the Mercy books before this, like we never get a full roll call like that. But in this one we did.
Yes.
And it was really fun, except for Zach.
Yep. But we got more Aiden this book.
And I love Aiden.
I love Aiden.
So in any case, our order, I will say when we throw this one in here, in my experience, because I've reread all the books multiple times now, except for Storm Cursed, I didn't reread it. But I've reread all the rest of the books so many times now. And so it's going to be harder for me to place this one, I think, just because like I finished reading it today. So like I just,
it's still very fresh for you.
It's still very fresh, but our order as it stands right now. And again, like we said, our rating system and the numbers are in comparison to all of the Mercy books, not in comparison to other books. We would rate all the Mercy books between 4.5 to 5 stars. That's how we'd rate them. So Bone Crossed at 9 is number 1. Iron Kissed at 9. Bloodbound at 8.5. Fire Touched at 8.25. Moon Called at 8. Frostburned at 7.75. Night Broken at 8. Silence Fallen at 7.75. Storm Cursed at 7.5. Silverborn at 7.5. And River Marked at 7.
Yeah. So the reason why Night Broken has a higher number rating than Frostburn, but is still ranked lower, was because we're like, look, it's a better book, but you have to be in a very particular mood to listen to it because it's Christie heavy.
Yes. So I would actually say, for me personally, there are a few things I would rearrange on here, having reread these books again.
Yes, I not long finished rereading them as well.
I think I would put Moon Called above Fire Touched.
I think we put Fire Touched above Moon Called because I had to re-listen to our reasons for all these rankings as well. Was because of Aiden. It was purely because of Aiden.
Now that I think about it, you know what? I think I agree with. I disagree with that. Now that I think about it. Okay, yeah, I agree with it. But I think I would put Silence Fallen above Night Broken.
Okay, so what do we want to change Silence Fallen's rating to an 8 as well?
I guess.
Or do we like it more than Frostburned? You're also blurry.
Oh no, why am I blurry? Okay,
there we
I'm
go.
Not blurry anymore. I don't know, like, if I need to change the rating necessarily.
Okay, so we'll just put Silence Fallen above. Because I'm going to keep a copy of this list too, because you can't be trusted.
I can't be trusted. You're right.
You can be trusted with Alpha Omega, but you can't be trusted with Mercy.
Because And I think I would rather reread Silverborn than Storm Cursed.
Okay, so we'll
But
move.
I don't know. But how do you feel about it?
Well, Silverborn is a relatively Sam-heavy book,
That's true.
and you don't like Sam.
I don't like sand.
I don't think I viscerally dislike Sam as much as you. However, I can't stand reading Sam-heavy storylines either. I like Moon called the Sam-heavy storyline was fine because we're just getting to know him. But this was like, by the end of it, like this was the last of the Sam-heavy books, and it was just
That's
like, for
right.
fuck's sake, Sam, piss off.
That's right, because Sam's like about to kill himself. Because see, like the overall, because like the overall plot is fine.
Yeah.
It's just then there's Sam.
Yeah, like Sam being suicidal is a major plot of the book.
That's right. Okay.
That's the reason why it's so low.
Then JK. Yeah, then it's fine there.
Okay, so I've reordered Silence Fall into above Night Broken. Do we want to keep Night Broken at an 8?
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked it. I liked the book, and honestly, you're like, because I think our reasons are fine. Like, if you're in the mood to be thoroughly pissed off the entire book, yeah, it's a great read.
Yeah.
Because she's supposed to be thoroughly pissed off most of the book. You're supposed to be. Like, she did what she wanted to do.
Yeah. So,
where would we put Smoke Bitten?
What I think might be easier is if we talk about the book first.
Okay.
And then check it in. Because I think we
won't have to refer back to this list when the next Mercy Books comes out either, because we'll both have a copy.
Yeah. Because I think
if you lose yours again, I will still have a copy.
Yes. Because I think it will be easier to do it that way, because I think there are some things we need to hash out.
Yes.
Like
okay, so speaking of the plot twist kind of thing that was predictable but not so much, like
again, before we get into it, spoilers for a book, and this is actually relevant because typically we're talking about books that came out years ago. This came out like last week. Spoilers and spoilers for the series. Okay, sorry.
So as soon as she got to, like, as soon as Beauclair was like, I can't say his name, I had a suspicion. And then as it got to Mercy being like, this Fae's name holds a lot of power. I've reread children's stories, and his original power is literally turning one thing into one other thing. I'm like, I know exactly who this is, but it can't be. Can't be.
That's what I was thinking too, because like it popped into my head. I was like, would she? No.
Yeah, so like the thought was there, but it was like every time like the clues came up, I was like, fuck off, brain. Like, go away, Brian, you're wrong. Like, this can't be it. She can't be going down this path. And what did she do? She went there.
So are you mad about it? Because I can't say I'm mad about it, but I was surprised.
I'm aggressively amused, I guess would be the term. Like, I'm not like, or like, you know, like maniacally laughing, but I'm just like, I'm amused by it. I'm like, lol, she went there, but also like an eye roll in there too.
Well, I mean, like, I'm kind of okay because like we have Baba Yaga and all that. You know, I guess what I think might have been like a hint towards it too was like the Sherwood Post thing, because it was like they were trying to guess who he was, and like one of the big guesses was like Robin Hood. Yeah. So we were like really diving
go back to your childhood stories, guys.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, and you know, and like Rasputin and like all that kind of stuff. And so like a bunch of like really big historical figures like and I was like, would she really put up like a historical figure in this book like that? No.
Yeah,
No. But then I was like, but she
and
put in Baba Yaga, like,
and also like Bran is like the monster from Beowulf
yeah,
and
he's
stuff like that too.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's not unprecedented.
Yeah. So
Although
like
this is a lot more mainstream.
yeah, I mean, I guess I was like the biggest like shock of it was like, no, she actually made it that obvious to work out and still went there.
Yeah.
She did it. Like I'm like, because I'm also just like childhood figure with a powerful name that can turn one thing into one other thing. That literally leaves one person, and I'm curious to see if chat will figure it out.
Yes. Because we won't talk about it till like the end. Because I took detailed notes.
Yes, it's from a fairy tale, a relatively short fairy tale.
Well, because it's Fae, so
yes.
So anyway, so plot. Oh, I guess we won't do a brief overview of characters because fuck it.
It's messy.
This is 12. It's book 12. We open on Mercy, Tad, and Z, and I was so excited. Like I was like, Tad, oh my god.
Oh, actually, one other thing before we jump into the plot. Because also this got brought up when I was like looking through the list of our rankings and everything, and I think I actually messaged it to you as well. Generally, when there's like 3 or 4 like different subplots happening, Mercy's like, this can't all be coincidence type thing. One, Mercy never actually has the thought of this can't all be a coincidence, this book. And do you want to know why? Because it literally was just a coincidence, this book. The different plots were all coincidental, this book.
Yeah.
And this is the first time. Because like every other book, we're sitting there waiting, going, okay, so how did these all join?
I was waiting for it too, and then I was like, they don't.
Because I was also sitting there wondering how the frick this werewolf pack and the smoke monster were joined.
Yeah, see, I was sitting there like, Adam got bit. He didn't.
No. I was waiting for Adam to have been bitten too.
And I was like, curveball, interesting. This is like one thing. Last book, we were like, Patty lost her touch like a little bit. Just a little bit. Not that it was a bad book. It was not. No Mercy book is a bad book. It's like I said, whenever we talk about the Mercy books and we say it's a bad Mercy book is leagues better than 99% of all urban fantasy books.
Yeah.
So when I say that Storm Cursed is a bad Mercy book, I don't mean it's a bad book. But
yeah, I forgot as well with that. Yeah, so there were 3 different primary plots in this book. There was the Smoke Monster one, the Invading Wolf Pack one, and the Adam's Being Weird one. And none of them were related.
Yep.
Not a single one. Oh, I guess the Adam plot and the Invading Wolf Pack, like the motivations of the Invading Wolf Pack plot, I guess they both had their origins in the last book, but that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
That's the thing too, is like is usually like Mercy books tumble into each other.
Yeah.
And this one, like, the main plot is not like well, I guess it did, because like it's because of Aiden and because of Tilly. So I guess it kind of did. But it didn't.
Mercy is written like a TV series.
Yeah.
Like each book is a season.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's callbacks to previous seasons in most TV shows. So like, but yeah, it's not like where each book is its own standalone movie, like in a lot of series that go this long.
Yeah. So we open on like Mercy, Tad, and Z doing like a fix on a car, and like them and Tad and Z being like, you can tell us like what's up, and Mercy being like, nah fam, it's cool. And then inside her head she's like, I won't talk about issues with my mate. And I was driving to Columbia at this point and I turned off the book. I was like,
I
not
can't.
I was like, not today, Satan.
That's literally what you said to me.
Yeah, no, I was like, nope. I stopped. I was like, I'll read it, but like not right now, because I was like, I fucking can't.
One thing I can't really remember if it actually fully gets resolved. Does the issue with Adam fully get resolved? Yes, it does. Never mind.
Yes,
it does. Yep.
Well,
Remember, because she blows up the bond and goes into his other.
oh right, yes, it does. Okay, yes, it does.
Yeah, that happens. Yeah, after he does the bad thing
will
again.
say, I wish that like the order of things getting resolved had been swapped. I wish the big bad had gotten resolved last.
I know, it's just that the order that it was done in, though, allowed for Adam to resolve the big bad the way that he did. She would have had to come up with a different way.
That's true. Anyway.
Yeah. We'll get to that when we get to that.
Yeah. So I stopped the book because I was like, I don't want to listen to Night Broken right now.
Whereas me, I was just like, what's wrong? What's wrong with Adam? What's wrong? And then I literally spent half the first half of the book going, she's pregnant, he knows, and he doesn't know how to tell her, and he's freaking out. I was hoping that that's what it was. I was hoping that she'd be up to Duff.
See, I was like, they're gonna break up.
They can't break up. They've
I
been like,
know,
they're one of literature's strongest couples.
So then, we go home, and then so Christy is a bitch, and Arielle thinks that Mercy convinced Jesse to go to college on Mars out of spite, and there's like a big blow up where
and by
like
on Mars they mean down the road.
Yeah, and Arielle like opened Jesse's mail, and everyone's all grr, and like we disperse after Adam is all I'm gonna defend my life, and Mercy like yeets off to go like
not yet. She doesn't yeet off yet, because then Aiden walks in with Tilly.
Oh yes, Aiden walks in with Tilly, and then he's like,
who is the physical humanoid manifestation of Underhill, which is like the phase magical land.
Yes, and then after that, she's like, I'm gonna go mope around. Yes.
I just need to address something in Twitch chat. Lol, no. Just got asked if we're feminists.
No.
Yes. Are you? Since when?
Right now. So Mercy goes and like mopes around like her old trailer, which is not the old trailer, but like whatevs. In any case, Ghost, and it's like her neighbor, and she's all like blood all over the carpet, #rude. She's dead. There's a gunshot, and now her husband has been dead-a-doodled, and she like after the ghost is all like, oh, my husband, Mercy yeets. And she goes in, she's like, I shouldn't touch this body, but like, I gotta sniff it. So she goes in,
and she does a sniff, and she accidentally touches this corpse with her nose.
And then she's like,
she gets a magical thing.
Magic! And then there's cops, because like now she's like, I got what I need. And then, we call Adam, and we're like, hey, dead bodies, cops, you should like maybe come over. And then Adam's there, and then eventually he's like, why the fuck call me like before this happened? And then she's like, because you're a fucking asshole, man, you've been acting like a douche. That's not what she says, but she's like, that's what she means. She's like, because the danger was like mostly over, and also you're being a douche. And then Adam feels bad, and then like things kind of get better ish, like the tone sort of changes, and then they go back to like her trailer. And inside the trailer also, Gabriel and Jesse have broken up because Jesse's not going to college where Gabriel is going to college, and I'm kind of happy about it because I'm like, can Jesse and Tad live happily ever after now? Because I'm here for it.
I know, right? And I was waiting. I've also been waiting for that, like especially this book. I've been waiting. waiting for that whole thing to become a voiced plot. I was waiting.
I feel like we're getting there.
But hopefully next book.
Hopefully. I need it to be a thing. I ship it.
I hope it happens.
I hope it happens.
We'll see.
As much as I like Gabriel, I like Tad and Jesse better.
Well, I like Gabriel, but I think his role in the series is more or less done, which is also partly why I think he went away to college. He was a good boy. Oh, Tony wasn't in this book.
Oh yeah, you're right.
No, Tony. He was a good boy who toughened the fuck up, and now he's gone off to do his own thing.
Yeah.
Like I understand why he was introduced as a character and everything, because one, Mercy needed a My Girl Friday type person. But I think once he grew the fuck up and shit with his mother was resolved, I don't think there was any purpose for him to still be in the books.
Yeah.
Especially now that Tad's back.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I don't think he's coming back.
Yeah. So there's like a letter to Jesse in the trailer, and Adam is like, I'm a monster.
Excuse you. It's also, when the fuck did Mercy rebuild their house as not a trailer? Because this book, it's not a trailer. It's a what was it?
It's a manufactured house.
Yes, a manufactured house. What's the difference?
In my head, it's a trailer. That's her story, and I'm sticking to it.
I swore she rebuilt it with a trailer, but now it's a manufactured house. And also, I'm guessing a manufactured house is like one where like it all comes like it's like flat pack furniture, and that's how it comes. Because I'm just
looking it up. What is a manufactured images? A manufactured house is basically a trailer. It's not, but
so it effectively is like flat pack furniture, but a house.
It's like, here, let me just pull this up.
Because this is also a manufactured house here that doesn't really look trailerish.
In my head, it's a trailer.
Yeah, very well. I imagine that Mercy did something more along the lines of this. So it kind of looks like a trailer, but it's not actually a trailer.
We're going with one that looks like a trailer.
Yeah, we'll do that.
That's what makes me happy.
Yep. We'll do that.
Yeah, so they're in there, and then Mercy's like, what's been like up with you? And Adam's like, I'm a monster, don't love me, grr. And so they have that conversation.
Yep.
And so then we go home. Oh, also while Mercy was out moping around, there was like a jackrabbit she saw.
Yeah, and she was like, that jackrabbit looks sus, and I don't know why.
And we'll put a pin in that.
Did we talk about the door?
Did we talk about what?
The door in the yard.
Oh, yes, there's a door in their backyard.
So when Mercy storms out of the house after Aiden and Tilly walk in, she walks outside and there's a random just door in the yard, and it's a door to Underhill. And she's like, I'm too upset to go back inside right now, so we'll deal with that later.
So then we go home and we talk to Jesse for a minute.
Yeah. And Jesse's like, you were right. I'm sorry. I should have told Mama and Dada that I am changing schools. Because the reason why Christy was so upset about it all as well was because Jesse applied to go to either Gabriel's school or a school in Eugene, which is where her mum lives. She originally applied there, and then she applied to go to Gabriel's school and was going to go there, but she hadn't told her mum yet that she wasn't going to go to Eugene. But then because of stuff that happened in Fire Touch, she then changed her mind and decided that she was going to go to the same school, different campus as Gabriel, which is in their hometown.
Yeah.
So Christy's upset that Jessie isn't going to school in Eugene, even without Mercy doing her thing, in Fire Touched, she still wouldn't be going to school in Eugene.
Yeah. So none of this is Mercy's fault.
No.
But
it's Jesse had a boner for the hot boy next door, and then Jesse's life is in danger, so must live close to home.
Yeah. So after that, we go hunting for jackrabbits. We bring Aiden along because he can do fire.
Yes.
And then, oh no, invading werewolves are afoot. And then Mercy gets jackrabbit bitten and then saved by wolf, but not wolves, different kind of wolves. Wolfie the vampire. Yeah. And they're like, whoa, what the fuck?
She fucked up last book. Is he still fucked up? Like, is he
unclear?
Yeah, because we need to go into what happened with him at the end of last book.
Yes.
So last book was very zombie heavy, and because Mercy as a walker has control over the dead, and she told them all to be at peace. So all the zombies dead-a-doodled properly this time, like they unrose. But Wolf was touching her one of the times she said it. And so he dropped to the ground too and was just like, chill. And was like high as a kite. It was like someone had just OD'd him on Eckies.
Yeah, basically.
It's unclear in this book as to whether or not he's still like that, but because he's also probably a bit like, but he's also mentally deranged. I think he's about halfway between where he originally was and the point where Mercy was like, be at peace. I think he's about halfway.
Yeah.
Because he's stalking the fuck out of Mercy. Mercy's like, but why? And he goes, because that's what stalkers do. And she's like, why are you following me? He's like, how can I stalk you if I don't follow you? But yeah, Mercy's gets bitten by a jackrabbit thing. Oh yeah. And also he can get into their house.
Yeah.
Because someone carried him into the house last book and he wasn't invited. So they're like, I don't know if it's because of the be at peace thing or if he could always enter, but he can enter their house. And they can concerned because, yeah, he's stalking her.
Yeah.
This is also about a month or two after the events of last book.
Yes.
And yeah, so Wolf is now incredibly curious about Mercy because he's just like, I know we still don't know if it's because he's like, what did you do to me? I'm going to kill you, but I need to know what you did first. Or if he's just like, you intrigue me. I shall follow you. Oh, great. Wait. Oh, you're muted. Okay, it's not my headphones. I thought my headphones died. Wait. Okay. This is a you problem.
So,
yeah, so Mercy gets bitten and she feels something trying to take her over and she's like, no! And then it's like, well, I'll kill you then. And then Wolf grabs her and dunks her in the river.
Yeah, and then saves her. And then Aiden tries to do a murdery on Wolf and like burns him and shit. And then Wolf goes, no, don't. I don't want to die. And then Mercy is like, and then he lied. Like, what the fuck? And then Wolf just like gets up and then is like, haha. And then Aiden can no longer do a fire. And then he's like, well, that was fun. And then Wolf just fucking leaves.
Yep.
And they're like, whoa, what the fuck?
Because last book as well, okay, also just establishing some of the rules for this world. There's wizards that have magical power over inanimate objects and witches that have power over, like, living beings. And witches come in, I think it was established in Silence Fallen. She did a little bit of retroactively rewriting the rules. We've got 3 kinds of witches. We have white witches, which don't harm other living beings to get their power. They can harm themselves, but not other living beings. Grey witches that get magic from themselves and other living beings, but with consent. And black witches that get their power from killing and torturing other people without consent. So, Wolf, we discovered last book, we always knew he was a vampire and we always knew he was a wizard. we discovered last book that he is also a witch. But the surprising twist in that, because I wasn't too surprised to learn that he was a witch. Like, I mean, apparently it's very rare for someone to be a wizard and a witch, because wizards are incredibly rare in the first place, but to be both was just like, apparently. But I was like, that's not too much of a shock to me. I can live with that. But he's a white witch. Wolf is a white witch.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, what?
Which is how, so he, not only did he survive Aiden's fire attack thing, he took his power. And Aiden's freaking the fuck out, and Mercy's like, I feel like if he permanently took your power, he would have, like, did a giggle before he yeeted. Which turned out to be accurate.
It was accurate.
Yes, his power is only temporarily, you know.
Patty did not lie to us about that. So after we're back at the house, we do a meeting.
Yes.
And Aiden and Jesse are invited to the meeting.
Well, Aiden being there makes sense because he needed to say what his thoughts were on because he's got the most real life Fae experience.
Yeah, and honestly, even Jesse being there, I was like, fine, because Mercy, what she says about it, she's like, we're just gonna have to repeat it to you anyway, so fuck it.
Yeah, and also, like, she also makes a valid point as well, like when Jesse's like, oh, you're having a meeting, like, kind of like, oh, well, this sucks. And Mercy's like, look, just come. One, because I'm going to have to repeat it to you anyway. And two, you've earned the right. Like, you have had to change one of the most important decisions in a normal young person, like young adult's life.
Yeah. On
behalf of us. You are consistently being dragged into shit by virtue of who fathered you.
Yeah.
Kind of earned the right to be present.
Yeah. So, so then after that,
they also when they were off hunting the jackrabbits, they discovered a wolf kill by unknown werewolves.
Yeah,
that's a big part of the meeting. In the meeting they talk about the jackrabbit and the wolfies.
Yeah, so they're talking about all of that, and then in the middle of the meeting, there's a knock so this meeting's happening at 5 a.m. In the middle of the meeting, there's a knock at the door, and then Jesse's like, "I'll go get it," and then Mercy's like, "Bitch, it's like 5 a.m." and then they're like. So Adam's like, no. Mercy and Warren, you go get it. And then, So they go get it. Turns out it's Mary Jo's boyfriend of 2 weeks. So they're like, it's Mary Jo's boyfriend of 2 weeks. Like, what the fuck is up with that? Like, who would know about that? And then also it was like the new werewolves that did it. And he's just like tranked. He's fine, mostly, except for the tranks. So like they're dealing with that. But then they're also like,
how the fuck would they know? And thank goodness Jesse was in the meeting.
Yeah, because Jesse goes, oh, right. Yeah, Mary Jo posted about it on Facebook, like their date. And so then Adam's like, all right, so we're going to have a no social media policy for our out people. And it's like, bitch. I thought it was interesting, though, that it was thrown in there. And unlike House of Night, when you actually look at the timeline of things, it more or less lines up.
No, yeah, like, well, when did the first Mercy book come out?
Like 2006.
Yeah, so Facebook was about a year off of becoming a thing. And this is about 3-4 years after.
I mean, they also mentioned Airbnbs, but like, Mercy's also not so heavy on the cultural references that it like dates itself.
Yeah. So like it could even be that the series started after when it was first published as well in terms of time.
Right. Like when things like that happen, you buy it.
Yeah.
House of Night. They're not like, let's go watch Game of Thrones. Like none of that's happening.
Yeah, no, none of that is happening, thank goodness.
Yeah.
And also, we get plenty of downtime in these books. Like sometimes the books have like there's like about a month time jump at the end of this book. Or a few weeks time jump at least.
And then, but again, here's the thing.
There's time between the books.
Here's the thing. Writing advice from us. You can say things like, and make references to specific shows and them watching specific shows on air. I do it in Livescraft and stuff like that. But the reason why I did it was to actually date the books because they happened at a certain time. Like, I believe I used Game of Thrones specifically because during like the years that like the specific book took place, Game of Thrones was still airing. And so you would know that.
Yeah, and not just that, but again, you give your characters downtime for shit. House of Night doesn't get like any minute that they are not asleep, we are with them.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things. Like, if you're going to make specific references to like what show they're watching, if it's still airing, it's just important that you keep in mind, like, you know, does it make sense for them to be watching a show that is new and is airing? Like, is it like a new episode? Would a new episode be coming out? And do you want it to be coming out at this time? Blah, blah, blah. Just keep that in mind because you can totally do it. It's a valid thing to do. Just keep in mind what you're doing. That's all.
And if you want to have them watching a show, but you don't specifically want to date it, we'll use Game of Thrones because that's an example you used. Mm-hmm. That you could have had them watching, the reference to them watching Game of Thrones would be they were watching TV and all I saw was a white blonde-haired girl riding a dragon or something like that. Like, obviously not that sentence because that sentence is awful.
Right.
But you can word it in a way where you're referencing Game of Thrones and most of the audience will know you're referencing Game of Thrones, but you're not explicitly stating Game of Thrones.
Right.
So, if you want to make pop culture references, make sure your timeline's consistent.
Yeah.
And if you want to make pop culture references without the burden of having to have that consistency, you know, be exact, you make a reference to it with it, like you describe a scene.
Yeah.
Or some, again, a white blonde-haired girl riding a dragon.
Yeah, like you can use
that's
them.
That's obviously Daenerys.
Yeah, you can use them like in a number of ways. I mean, you can use them like as here's what they're doing in their downtime. You can use it to specifically date your book.
Yeah.
And sometimes you want to do that. Sometimes you don't want to do that. It just depends on what you're going for. It's just don't do what House of Night did. Anyway, I'm going to get off that train because we could stay on that train for hours. Okay.
Yeah.
Shut up, DJ. Shut up. So during this meeting, after we, yell at Mary Jo for using Facebook, Ariella, Daryl
starts to arc up at Adam.
Starts to bark up at Adam, like, Daryl should challenge for the pack and all that kind of stuff. And then, we yell at Ariella.
Shut up, bitch.
We yell at Ariella and we're like, Adam's like, go see me in the principal's office. And then after that, we all go have a meeting with Daryl and Ariella, Mercy, Adam, Daryl and Ariella are in Adam's office. We have like a group chat. And then it
turns out that Ariella's just pissed off because she wants a baby.
Yeah.
So I'm actually kind of surprised that it didn't get brought up. Like, I mean, I know it's probably not common knowledge, but I still feel like Adam or Mercy especially would know this because her and Charles are close, even though she doesn't think that they're close, but they are. I'm actually kind of surprised that Mercy in that conversation wasn't like, you should give Charles's mate a call.
Yeah.
Because Charles and Anna are going through this exact same thing at the moment where they want a baby and, like...
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be a thing that someone in that room knows. And I was actually, like, I mean, I don't mind that it wasn't brought up, but I was waiting for it and it didn't happen.
Yeah, so was I. I mean, my only thing is, like, maybe it's just because, like, Charles and, like, maybe he wants that to be private.
Yeah, maybe.
That's the only thing I can think of.
I don't see Mercy not knowing. So the fact that she didn't even have the thought I should give Anna a call and see how they're going on that front. Because Mercy knows. She has to know.
Yeah.
Because her and Anna talk. We don't actually ever see them talking, but we know that they talk.
Right. But after that,
anyway.
we get sex.
Yes.
For a long time.
Yes.
And so Mercy was supposed to go to the garage at 12. It is now 3. A part was supposed to be delivered to her shop. It got delivered to a different shop. She's going to go pick it up. It's like a 3-way phone call, whatever, with Tad and Z. And they're just like talking. And we find out that Tad and Jesse have been speaking more often. And they're like hanging out and shit. And so I'm like, yay!
Yep. But then we also know that one of Jesse's friends has a hard-on for Tad, and Jesse's like, okay, well, I shall bring my friend around Tad as often as possible. Not to, try and get Tad to like her, but to hopefully dissuade her from liking him.
Jesse.
Literally all Jesse has to say is because Tad's not an unknown. Like, it's not unknown that he's Fae. It's common knowledge. Literally all she has to say is, bitch, he can kill you. Like,
would that really be like dissuasive to an 18-year-old though?
I don't know.
Because me at 18, not dissuasive. Like,
you know what Jesse should have done? Said, hey, Tad, because like also he knows that friend likes him. And like Jesse would know that he knows because like, she's not stupid. Or she would have, she's mostly not stupid. All she would have to do is, hey, Tad, you can do a glamour. Just gradually, like each time, just tweak your face a little bit to make you more and more ugly each time she sees you. But so gradually that she won't notice until it's happened. And then
that's right, because like Tad never has his like real face on.
No, that is his real face.
Oh, is it?
Because Z is relatively humanoid. Because
I thought Tad had himself glamored to like have his ears stick out more and stuff like that.
No. There was a book that he does glamour himself to make him, that tweaked his appearance to the point where it was only subtle changes because I don't think he can keep his glamour up for too long.
Okay.
So he made subtle changes to his appearance to make him unrecognizable to a normal to someone who doesn't know him, but Mercy could still recognize him.
Okay.
But yeah, she should have just said, hey, Tad, can you just gradually make yourself more ugly? Give me a second. I'm just getting a call.
Okay. So as she's going to like the other side of town, the Columbia Bridge is no longer there, so she has to go in a convenient way. And of course, the only reason why we're following her to go pick up a replacement part is because some shit's about to go down. So there is like lots of cops and a crashed big rig that has been turned like half into cement. George, the copy werewolf, is there. It's all crazy. So Mercy gets out and she's like, George, do you know about like all the stuff that you missed this morning at the pack meeting? And he's like, yeah, it was filled in. And she's like, excellent. What the fuck? And he's like, here's the thing. And like, this is a body. And then like, they're like, okay, what does like the missing girlfriend look like? And then it's like, oh, it looks like that bitch right over there. And they're like, all right, cool. So they take off running. And they catch up to her and it's like this lady and she's like kind of talking weird and she's like, how come when I bit you it didn't work? And Mercy's like, I don't fucking know. And so she's disgruntled about it. And then eventually like her and George get into a fight and then Mercy shoots her in the heart and then the opposite heart a bunch of times.
Yep, and the eyeball
and the
skull
eyeball, and there's no like blood, and then she just dissolves into smoke.
Yes.
And then we get the
And
ghost.
then we find the dead body.
We find the dead body and the ghost of the girl that actually died. And Mercy's like, what happened? And the girl who actually died is like, oh, this thing like this jackrabbit like bit me, which is rude. And then there was like a thing in my head. It took over. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't make a call. And then like I was just dead. And like I wanted to die on a beach, man. So,
yeah,
you know,
that's pretty much exactly how that happened.
And then so we go get like the part. We go to the shop, and
Mercy fills them in.
Mercy fills them in. We also get filled in about like there are wolves. The rogue wolves are attacking the pack, but like we're not a part of that. Stefan tried to call Mercy last night, so Mercy's trying to call him back.
And no answer.
No answer. When we get home, now it's like later at night, and Wolf,
Ben's on guard duty.
And Ben's on guard duty, and Wolf is still stalking Mercy.
Yeah, and he's lying naked on the hood of her car with the cardboard cutout of a penis covering his penis.
Yes.
And Ben's like, shall I tell him to move along? And Mercy's like, give him a blanket. Like, more or less, like Mercy's like, look, if we tell him to move along, it says we're scared of him, which Mercy is. But then she's like, but that's not the message I want Wolf to have. So we'll give him a blanket. Because hopefully if he thinks he's not bothering me, he'll just give up.
Yeah. So, but Ben, of course, before that is like, what the fucking fuck do you mean?
Yes, he's Ben. He swears a lot.
Yeah. Oh, also, then, like an interesting, just to back up, Adam swears in this book.
Yes, he does.
And one thing that I actually thought was well done is like the first time he swears is when Jesse, this is going way back to like the first scene, like one of the first scenes of the book is when like they're fighting over Jesse and like Arielle reading the mail, and Jesse yeets upstairs, and then Mercy like gets in Adam's way, and then he's like, fucking move out of my way, or move the fuck out, whatever the hell he says. And then I was like, well, what a wasted swear. But then I was like, I like that though, that it's like totally wasted, because it tells you that like something's actually wrong with Adam, that it's not even like an impactful swear. It's just like, you know, get the fuck out of my way. And you're like, nothing even happened, and he's swearing, oh my God, like the world's ending.
Yeah. So Mercy is also making cookies because that's what she does when she's stressed, because Adam is out. That's why she's still up. He's out, and he's like, I'll be back when I'm back, I guess. And she's like, oh, I thought they're doing fuck fix shit, but I guess it didn't fix shit.
Yeah.
And then so Ben comes back inside, and she's like, so did you give, so how, like, you know, so how's Wolf? And he's like, oh, well, you know, is Wolf cold or something? And he's like, well, you know, wolves, they're rarely cold. And she's like, well, that's fucking weird.
Yeah, what a weird thing to say.
And then he's like, can I have some cookie? And she's like, okay. And then she sees a bite on his wrist, and she's like, oh, fuck.
And this is when I texted you, and I was like, I swear to fucking fuck.
Well, that is when I texted you, and I was like, because I knew I was pretty certain you hadn't read it yet. And I was like, I can't say who and I can't say what, but if it ends badly, I'm gonna riot.
See, I thought because at the time I had noped out after like the first 5 minutes. I thought you meant their marriage.
No, I was talking about Ben.
And then I got to that, and I was like, I swear to God, if she touches a hair on Ben's pretty little head, I'm never reading another Mercy book, is what I said to you. And I meant it.
I was pacing. I paused and I paced for a good half hour.
I was not okay. I was like, no. Like, I've never felt fear for like characters in these books. I'm not gonna lie. which is fine with me.
Yeah.
Because like I don't need it to like books necessarily, but I was like, I'm stressed. I am stressy. That I'm not okay. Patty, the fuck?
Yeah.
You kill nothing burgers. This is not okay. Like you kill people like Paul. Don't you touch Ben. Don't you touch him. Like no.
I was, and I'm not gonna lie, up until she started enacting plan, and even then I still wasn't sure. But I was like, I don't know how they're gonna fix him. Until he was fixed, I was not like, because even though he was like able to remain himself for a good chunk of the book, I was just like waiting, because it would be the kind of shit that she would do where, you know, it was about to happen or she defeated, you know, the Fae, and then he was going to drop dead.
Yeah.
Like, just as a final act of like, fuck you. Like, kill Ben.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that. I was so waiting. And I mean, not in a good way.
Yeah.
I was like I was spending most of this book trying to mentally prepare myself for Ben dying, because I thought he was going to.
Same, because I was like, I don't know how Patricia actually feels about him. Like, I don't, you know, I was like, I don't know if she thinks that like he's disposable, or like if she thinks that like he's like redeemed himself to like a point where he can do like noble sacrifice and shit. I'm like, I don't know. So I don't know where we're at with Ben. But I'm like, I want Ben to like grow up and like have a family and stuff. I'm like, oh, it's not okay. You can't like you can't kill Ben. But she didn't, so it's fine. I'm fine. It's fine. But I was not okay when that happened. Yeah, so yeah, like my actual note for it is in all caps, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? I'm going to riot. I'm going to fucking riot. I'm going to fucking riot. That's my note for it.
Yeah.
And now we're fighting Ben. I'm unhappy. Stefan, also Stefan, all caps.
Yeah. Because
then she threw Stefan into it, and I was like,
you know what? I could have dealt with Stefan though. I could have dealt with losing Stefan. I mean, it would have been a big blow and shit, but I would have been less heartbroken over Stefan.
I think I would have been less heartbroken over Stefan simply because like Patty's kind of fucked Stefan over.
Yeah, and
I want before like the series.
Also, I'm not protective over Stefan. Like from the get go, we've been protective over Ben because he's a good boy.
I think like what it is like what I want is for like Stefan to, because of like how badly after like book, what is it, like 4? Yeah, she like broke Stefan.
Yeah,
and she hasn't really like bothered to unbreak Stefan. Like, I really want Patty to unbreak Stefan before the series ends.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with Stefan, I think. There we go.
Because we still have to deal with Wolf. So if like the next book deals with like the vampires, and then we still have to talk about Ben, I'm like, hopefully we get some kind of resolution.
You know who else I wouldn't mind Jesse ending up with? Ben.
You know what? I agree. I hard agree that. Yeah.
Can you imagine Ben being like Adam and Mercy's son-in-law?
It would be adorable. I've been like afraid to say that because I'm like, would that be creepy? I don't care.
The
age difference between Ben and Jesse is not actually as bad as the age difference between Adam and Mercy.
Well, yeah, like Adam was a werewolf like 2 decades before Mercy was born, whereas like Ben is like 8 years older than Jesse.
Yeah,
because he's about his own age.
Yeah,
okay, that doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? He looks about the same age he should be.
Yeah,
like he's about between 8 to 11 years older than Jesse.
I'd be cool with that too. So,
but yeah, no, I would enjoy that because I can just imagine Ben looking at Mercy being like, does this mean I can call you mum now?
yes. Yeah. And then Adam almost murdering the fuck out of him. It'd be fun.
You know what though? I don't think Adam would mind because Adam has always been Adam's always known what's what with Ben. He's always known his full story, and from the get-go, throughout the entire series, he's gotten the shits with Mercy every time. Mercy's like, I don't like Ben, and Adam's like, the fuck's wrong with you?
That's true.
He's a good boy. He gets all the scratches behind all of the years.
Mm-hmm. And Jesse's always liked Ben.
Mm.
And then Mercy's always
Jesse was a little bit. Jesse was in the first book. Jesse was like, he's hot, but also like I kind of like I should I also heed your advice to not be alone with him.
Right. But Mercy was wrong about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a victim and a protector.
I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
I'd be cool with either one.
Yes. But not both.
Not both, but either one.
Not both. Yeah, so while Mercy's trying to stall Ben, she hears Adam coming up and she's like, look, I don't know if a smoke-bitten Ben can hear him approaching the front door, but also I don't know if even if it is capable of having Ben's hearing, if it's paying attention, because that's what we've learned in these books. You can have the best hearing in the world, but if you're not paying attention to the sounds around you, it's pointless.
Yeah.
So she's like, I can't remember what she did, but she did something to indicate to Adam to not come inside, and it worked. And then so she's stalling, and then we find out that smoke-bitten Ben knew the whole time that she'd seen because he did it intentionally, and then he's like, and Mercy's like, no! And so then they start fighting with a rolling pin.
Mm-hmm.
Patricia Briggs likes making the girls fight with rolling pins.
She does.
And then Adam bursts in and like they're roughhousing and fighting, and then Mercy like breaks the rolling pin by accident. And then she's like, oh well, that's sad, but I'll be sad about that later.
Yes.
Because it's like her grandmother's. And then they're freaking out because like Adam knows full well what's going on with Ben. Like Ben's just not going to go crazy for no reason. So the smoke, like whatever's possessing Ben doesn't give a fuck about how hurt Ben gets. And they're like, well, no, we want to protect our boy's body because, we want to rescue him and we don't want to kill him.
Yeah.
So they're trying to like get him into the safe room in the basement without, killing him. And that's an effort, but they do it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Ben comes back to himself yet, but effectively he's just like, he effectively is like, whenever he does come back to himself, he's like, keep Mercy away from me. I don't want to hurt her, but this thing wants to kill her.
Yeah, so then we have to get Warren and Daryl here because they want to try dunking him in the river because that's what worked.
Worked for Mercy.
And so then Daryl takes forever getting there because he had a flat tire. And then Ben is kind of back to himself enough to be like, oh, don't worry, just possessed, want to kill Mercy. But yeah, take your time with your fucking flat tire, Daryl.
Yeah. So then they have, and because Adam's house is like about, a half a mile from the river.
Yeah.
Like the property actually goes to the river. So like they don't have to take him too far, but it's a fucking effort.
Yeah.
Because like in the way that it's written as well, it's like Ben's like, don't stop, get me to the river type thing, while his body's like,
yeah.
So then they have another effort of trying to get him to the river, and then when that doesn't work, back without killing him. I think they have to like cuff him in like silver shit, which they don't want to do because that'll hurt Ben.
But then, like, while all that's happening, as they're going down to the river, Wolf rocks up and he's like, it's not going to work. And then she's like, what? And then he's like, well, it didn't work for Stefan. So, and Mercy's like, Stefan? And I was like, Stefan? And he was like, well, why did you think he called you? And then why do you think you can't call him back? Curious,
Yeah,
no?
Wolf's just like, yeah. Like, I love Wolf. He's one of my favorite characters.
Same.
And I was worried that he was going to be a simpering little girl in this book.
I'm glad he's
But he's
not.
not. I actually think I enjoy him more now.
Yeah, same.
Possibly just because we're seeing him more, because he's like way more obsessed with Mercy.
Yeah.
Because then, yeah, and then I think it's during this scene as well, he starts swaying back and forth to her heartbeat again. So it's like kind of like a throwback to the first time we met him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I love Wolf.
Yeah, he's fun.
Can he be perpetually stalking Mercy in the next book too, please?
Yes. Well, because we haven't like dealt with that really.
Yeah, and you know what? As far as vampires being in love with Mercy goes, I think I wouldn't mind if Wolf was a little bit in love with her right now.
I don't know that Wolf has like the capacity.
Well, his version of it.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what it is right now. I honestly think that I think that's why he's stalking her. Because it doesn't seem like he wants to punish her. And I guess in love is the wrong term. Like, we know that he's obsessed, but I think it's like next level obsessed, not normal stalker obsessed.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I also don't foresee him trying to kill Mercy because she doesn't return his affections. I honestly, if Mercy ends up preggers, right, I can actually see Wolf like being like the guardian angel of her unborn babies.
Like, yeah, because Wolf seems like he's like nice now in
his creepy way.
In Wolf way.
Like he's a weirdo. He's lying naked on the hood of a car in one of the scenes. Like,
yeah, he's fucking weird. But for Wolf, he's being a good egg. Like it's, I don't.
Yeah. Like he's a very interesting character, and I think he's more interesting now because I still think he's like kind of at peace type thing, but not in the same way he was when he was first at peace. Like I said, I think he's about halfway.
Yeah. So the river doesn't work. So we have to go back, and then like Mercy goes, and then like a lot of people are at the house and stuff, and so Mercy goes upstairs, and Beauclair calls us.
Yes.
Tells us a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Well, what he can say, because he explicitly states as well, I cannot say this fae's name. And Mercy's like, meaning you. It's not that you won't, it's you physically can't. And he's like, you're very perceptive, Mercy.
Yeah.
And she gets a lot of clues like this fae is not actually a powerful fae by default. And
yeah, he's like, Tilly gave him his power.
Yeah, and lots of as fae do, but I think because of the rules of the fae and everything. Oh, because they also go into rules as well. I'm pretty sure it's in this conversation that they go into rules.
I think so, yeah.
They're like, and he's like, look, I'm gonna break some stuff down for you. The more powerful a fae is, the less rules they have. Oh, because also the smoke thingy when I was in the possessed girl was like, stupid rules. I don't like rules. And we're like, well, that's weird, but okay. But Beauclair's like, look, the more powerful a fae is, the less rules that they have. And this fae has quite the number of rules assigned to him. Also, I can't tell you his actual name, but he is often referred to as the Smoke Beast, the Smoke Dragon.
Smoke Weaver.
Smoke Weaver.
I just got that. Fuck.
Yep. Smoke Weaver.
So on the nose, Patty.
Yeah, and then Baba Yaga takes over the phone call and she's like, look, Mercy, Like, enough with this shit. Like, all you need to know with this Fae is it's got literally one simple weakness that is one of his most inherent rules, and you just got to exploit that. Okay, bye.
Which with whoops, sorry.
You know what? Fuck it. Let's just do it.
Okay, with Rumpelstiltskin, that's like, it's his name.
Yeah.
And you know what's kind of fun though? Like, because supposedly, if what we know about like the series is true, and this is the last time we deal with the Fae.
Yeah.
In a Mercy book, it's kind of fitting that we end on Rumpelstiltskin. Because the Fae are like, they're obsessed with names, they're obsessed with like the rules, and like your name, if you're a Fae, is like one of your most powerful things. And Rumpelstiltskin is like the embodiment of that. So I don't hate it.
Yeah. And another thing that they say as well is this Fae can't not bargain. If you propose a bargain, he has to take it. Which, as we know with Rumpelstiltskin,
yeah,
his downfall was his bargain.
Yeah.
As well as his name. But yeah. So then, and Mercy goes and reads a bunch of fairy tales and shit, trying to, suss it out. And like, I think it's probably about within a chapter of that conversation that she's 99.9% sure that it's Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah.
Just because it literally all fits.
Yeah.
Like, who else would it be? And yeah, that conversation, I was just like, it's wrong. As soon as he was like, I can't say his name, and that's like, you can't? And he's like, no, I can't. I'm like, Rumpelstiltskin. Because his name is what destroys him. Like someone saying his actual name. It wasn't the bargain itself, it was the sound of his own name.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that has to be it. And I'm like, but it can't be. She can't be going with Rumpelstiltskin, but she did. She went there.
But again, like, if this is really the second to last book, it's probably the last time we're dealing with the Fae, and so
you don't hate it.
I'm not mad about it.
No.
Why not go out with a bang?
But like I said, it was kind of like an eye roll as well, though, because like it was so obvious from like all the clues that we had get up until the point that she says his name.
Yeah. I mean, but the thing is, like, you figure it out with Mercy anyway. Like, you figure it out when Mercy figures it out. So it's not like you're sitting there like, Mercy, why don't you figure it out? It's like when you get the clues and she gets the clues, you're both like, Rumpelstiltskin.
But then as the reader, as though we still have the advantage of not actually having it confirmed for us until she explicitly states it. So we're still going through the rest of the book going, but is it? Yeah. And like I said as well, I'm like, I spent a good chunk of the book going, it can't be. No.
Yeah.
It sounds like it, but it can't be.
Yeah.
It can't. It can't. And then she was like, no, it's Rumpelstiltskin. I was like, oh, okay. I guess we went there.
Yeah, we did go there. And so the next day, Arielle is on Mercy duty, and they have a conversation like, I like you too. I just think you're silly sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't like Arielle. Like, I really don't.
I don't like her either.
Because also, like, how many times does someone need to be explicitly stated to that Christy is a manipulative bitch before she stops believing it? Because also she even has a go at Mercy in this book as well. Like, you've taken everything that's rightfully hers, and Mercy's like, bitch, no.
Yeah.
Like, I literally didn't. She gave it up. And I came in years later. Like
a lot of years later.
Like, it was like 5 years or something.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. But anyway. It is what it is, I guess.
So then they go like shop for donuts. While they're doing that, they get like a feeling. And then Kelly, a werewolf, who's a guy.
I think it, yeah. Kelly's also a surname, so I can't remember if that was his surname.
Well, it took me a second.
But also, Kelly is also one of those really feminine names that men sometimes get given, like Stacy.
Yeah, I know. But
your country's weird.
Yeah. So, in any case, Kelly's the guy, Hannah's his wife.
Yeah. Also, because, we've also identified at least some of the invading werewolves back in the meeting.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Is having his child kidnapped. And so their plan is that Mercy's going to crash the car into the werewolf who is holding the child right after Arielle like jumps off the hood of the car and saves it.
Yep.
So that's what they do.
Yep. And Mercy gets beaten the fuck up by her car.
Yeah.
Because it's a Jetta. Like, it's not built for safe crashes.
Yeah.
What's actually kind of surprising, though, is that the car the car was in pretty rough shape because it was like her project car. Like, last book, it didn't even have a working passenger seat. But like, it broke halfway through the book before being like partially broken. It went to fully broke. But what's surprising, though, is that this one crash into a werewolf at 20 miles an hour totaled it.
Well, she says that, like, fuck, maybe the speedometer was broken.
True.
Because she's like, I don't think, she's like, that shouldn't have done that. Because she's like, the werewolf is more damaged than she should be. The car is more damaged than it should be. I'm more damaged than I should be. I think the speedometer was fucked up, but
I guess it was a net positive outcome, though, I guess. So
yeah,
shrug.
Yeah, so she does address it.
Yeah. So, because also this particular werewolf's family, because this werewolf's in the pack, this particular werewolf's family is oddly, like, child heavy.
Yeah.
Like, Christy had, I think, 5 or 6 miscarriages at least before she managed to keep Jesse. Because werewolves have a hard time with procreating, because if it's a werewolf sperm, because they've got 50% of their sperm are like werewolves and 50% of them are human. And the fact that, and I'm guessing that a werewolf sperm is more likely to get to the egg before a human sperm, because they have this disproportionate amount of miscarriages. But a human woman can't carry a werewolf baby. But this family has 4 kids in 8 years.
Yeah.
Or something like in an 8-year span. So, because I think the oldest is like 10 or 11 and the youngest is 3.
Yeah.
And it was, one of the middle children that was getting dangled, but then they come running out because I think they were hiding because they're like, they were scared to approach in case this thing just broke her neck or whatever. So they come out and they're trying to control this invading werewolf that they work out pretty quickly is Smoke Bitten. And then the rest of the invading werewolves show up, well, all but one.
Yeah.
And most of them are like, what the absolute fuck? Like, we said we weren't going after the kids, and then there's this woman there that Mercy's like, I recognize you, but I don't know where from.
And then it clicks that it's from Montana, and this one time that Brand's office got glitter bombed, but the one time it wasn't her. And
I loved who did it.
I screeched. I was like, ugh! Yeah. And then she's in the middle of cleaning it up, and then Bran walks in, and he's like, "Oh fuck, can you get out of here?" And then so that's who this is. Her name's Fiona. She was apparently she was like a Charles, but like undercover.
And she did a lot of like if Charles wasn't comfortable with doing a particular job, but it still had to be done. Because as we all know, Charles is a big softie, even though like his wife is the only one that sees it.
Yeah,
he's a big softie, and there's sometimes that he was just like, I just can't, I just can't. So Bran would send Fiona.
yeah.
And so that clicks, and Mercy's like, well, fuck. And then they're like, we'll take him. And Mercy's like, I don't know if I should tell them that this thing's smoke bitten, even though they don't even know if the bite by a smoke bitten person will make you smoke bitten. And that was one thing that actually pissed me off about Mercy in this moment. That's just like, I don't know if I'm actually even going to tell him, and she doesn't.
She does say like, don't let him bite you, but like.
That's it. Like she doesn't say, "Hey, so we have a situation. This is it, and it's affecting your boy here," which I thought was a bit of a piss poor act on Mercy's behalf. But then, and I can't remember which one it was, but one of them, whoever takes this person, takes them into the back of the van and breaks their neck and kills them.
Because there are a lot of cell phone cameras on the situation.
Yeah. So they killed them. But behind closed doors.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, fuck.
Well, Fiona's not about it. Fiona's like the lady that ordered them to go after the kids. She's the one that's like basically rogue, more or less. I mean, they're all kind of rogue, but she's like the bad rogue. The rest of them are just kind of like doing their best rogue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they all yeet like the other people. And Mercy's like, well, I guess everyone has to come back to our house then. Slumber party time.
Yeah.
So they slumber party.
Well, they go to the hospital first.
Oh, that's right, because Mercy's all fucked up, isn't she?
Yeah.
So they go.
I guess like nothing really happens though.
Yeah, she's just got 2 black eyes and a broken nose.
Yeah. Although Adam's like, I can't believe you're hurt. Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I'm just trying to get my headphones working again. They're just being funny, as usual.
Oh, you're good.
That's really weird. I just tested the audio, like for StreamYard, and the test audio is playing through my headphones, but your audio isn't.
It's not?
No, your audio is coming out of my computer right now.
That's weird.
I might just give up on these for a minute and try again.
Okay. So then afterwards, we like tell Bran like everything after we get back, because the house is like buzzing. So like Mercy goes upstairs and calls Bran because she's like, I need help with like Adam. I need help with everything. So yeah, she just tells him everything, and then we learn that
there was something else that happened before this, before she calls Bran as well. It might have been that morning. So throughout the night, because Adam hasn't really been sleeping in their room, but he did that previous night, and she wakes up in the middle of the night feeling like something's about to attack her.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next morning she wakes up and Adam has made an apology breakfast sandwich. And she because she knows Adam well enough to know that based on the status of their relationship, the only reason why it would have been done the way it was done was it was an apology.
Yeah.
I don't know if she tells Bran that though.
I don't know that she
whole situation.
I don't think she does.
No.
She tells him that like something's wrong with their bond, but like not.
She doesn't go into detail.
And so what's weird about this conversation with Bran, and I wish like I hadn't read the latest Alpha and Omega book, or at least like not that part of it.
Yeah.
'Cause now that's there.
I know, and for me, that's not canon. That's just Anna and Charles being dumb.
Yeah, but it's like, what do you do with that information now that you have it? You know?
Nothing. I
hopefully.
I don't even know why that was mentioned as well, because like the whole point why Bran chose a mate that he as a human can't stand is because he can't let himself get that emotionally attached to someone like he was to Charles's mother. Bless you. So like, but they're both mated to other people, and Mercy does not look at Bran like, and would never look at Bran like that.
Yeah.
And a bond and mating with like Bran trying to be with Mercy would be bad news bears for everyone.
Yeah.
So I don't see the point in even putting that in the book.
Yeah, I don't get it either. And because like now, like every conversation that they have
is tainted.
Because I'm like, I don't even know like if I'm reading into like the conversation weird, or if I'm like, is that thing that Bran said toned weird because I know about that conversation, or would I have read it like that?
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I can think that she would have put that in there is if like it was maybe a little bit of fan service, because there's probably a fair few people that ship the two of them. But how I would have done that if it was like that, and if that was the only reason, like if it wasn't supposed to be accurate, Charles wouldn't have denied it and then gone, yeah, no, obviously, of course I've noticed it, but I've been trying not to, Anna. Like, no, Charles would have just been no, you're crazy, Anna.
Like, yeah, you're making shit up.
Yeah. So it would have been both sides of the,
Right. But like, I just don't understand bringing it up in the first place.
I don't either. I don't like it, and I don't get it.
Yeah, because
we'll see if this works.
Because now, yay. Because now every conversation is just
tainted.
Yeah. Because like now, instead of you thinking like, oh yeah, he's protective because like that's his daughter, you're like, what is it?
Or is that his wannabe honey boo boo?
I don't want to have that thought. I don't want to be over analyzing their conversations like this.
Yeah, no, like I've always seen Bran just as like, that Mercy's the daughter he never had, and like because also she's not a wolf, like she's a coyote. She has that thing that lit up his day, like in that mischievous nature that everyone else was too scared to have with him.
Yeah.
Like, so he fell in love with her as a daughter.
Yeah. And also because like,
that's how I've always seen it. Even since reading that, I'm like, no.
And then also because the way that we know that Charles sees her as like his sister.
Yeah.
Like we know that like they accepted her as he accepted her and his wolf as a sibling. Yes. And as their coyote sibling, which they find like super fun, and they like adore her that way. So it's like,
yeah, like Charles freaking covered for her when Bran was about ready to kill the entire pack. Charles is like, nope, I know you're pissed about like your wife's shoes. I know you're pissed, but yeah, no, but I don't know. Like he's covered for her God knows how many times with Bran to stop her from getting in trouble.
Yeah. And so I don't know. I just why?
Like I'd also, I mean, at least in this book as well, one thing I didn't, Mercy's grown up a lot this book. Like, I mean, she wasn't like, Charles is like my big brother in this book, but it also wasn't, because Charles does get mentioned in this book, but there was none of that. Charles is a hard ass who hates me.
Or Charles is so scary, like, and I'm scared of him.
And I think Mercy is starting to see people's true colors. I mean, like, Mercy was freaking shocked when she found out. So let's just spoil it, because it happened in this conversation anyway. Charles is the one that glitter bombed Bran's office, and I can't remember why.
No, well, it's something Charles said, and we don't know what it was. And I'm like, Patty, what the fuck was it? Because Bran is like, none of your goddamn business. And I'm like, Bran,
tell us.
We're all adults here. What was it?
Yeah, but yeah, Charles had a case of the cranks with Daddy Dearest, so he glitter bombed his office.
So we pulled a Mercy and glitter bombed his office.
But and that's where Charles gets brought up. And like Mercy wasn't like, you know, oh, scary Charles did that. It was like, because even when Bran was like, you know, there were some jobs that just Charles wasn't willing to do. Mercy wasn't like, but Charles, he's your killing machine.
Yeah.
Like there was none of that. It was just like, oh, bless Charles.
Yeah.
It was more of that tone.
But she was just like, Charles, and like, I can't see him doing that. And like, neither can we. Even though we love Charles. You know
what? I kind of in a way can.
So can I. But like, it didn't cross my mind.
No, it didn't cross my mind that it was Charles. But when I found out, I'm just like, oh, there's his playful side coming out.
Well, because I think it's also like it's set up well because you know that he's covered for her.
Yeah.
So you're like, not only have you covered for her, you glitter bombed Bran's office. Go Charles. Like,
and because we also have seen hints of Charles having that in him in Alpha Omega with how he interacts with Anna a bit and how he fucks with people's heads just for a giggle, like for her sake.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like, yeah, it's not like, oh well, that's way out of character, but it's like also a bit out of character.
Yeah. But fun.
Yeah.
So
I love Charles.
I do too.
I mean, like, that's my biggest upset is that we don't have enough Alpha Omega books because I love Charles. He's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah. Like, I want another good one.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think their average rating is a bit higher than Mercy's average rating.
Yeah.
We'll have to work out which series on average ranks better. We'll have to re-rank those ones too.
Yeah.
We'll do that another time then. Okay, so yeah, Bran and Mercy are doing a chatty chat, and Bran's like, if you get a chance to, I would not at all be upset if Fiona did a dead-a-doodle. AKA, please do. And in terms of your bond with Adam and the shit's going on with him, just blow the fuck up out of that bond. And it turns out to be actually very good advice.
Yeah. But of course you're like, what does that mean? And so was Mercy.
I know, but I mean, to be fair, that Bran has always been more of a like the Fae when he gives advice.
Yeah, and to be fair to like Patty and everybody in that situation, I did not think for a second that Bran would be like blow it up as an unmate Adam, because I know that like the process for that is like Bran has explicitly said to Mercy, if you want to dissolve your mating bond, I can do it for you. So I know that that's not how you do it.
Yeah.
So like that's not what went through my head. I was just like, what does that mean? This will be interesting.
I mean, I didn't know what he meant, but I knew though that he meant like, you're a coyote, you'll figure it out.
Yeah, like that's what I figured he meant too.
Just be a coyote.
Yeah.
Because you're like as Mercy says in this book multiple times, she's chaos.
Yeah.
Like that's who her father is. He's chaos.
I like also that she's like less. I also like that she's way more like, I am Coyote's daughter.
Yeah, I mean, while it was annoying, like from a logical human perspective, because she also states her reason, like Coyote's not my dad because he was just wearing the skin of, like, he was just someone who was wearing the skin of my dad type thing. Because if he actually is my dad, that meant that he abandoned me and my pregnant mother. You know, and I get it. Like, she had daddy issues, but she's coming to terms with them.
Yeah, and now she like has way more reason to like identify as like the daughter of Chaos incarnate.
Yes.
And she's become a lot more comfortable with that.
Yeah. So, yeah, Mercy's grown up a lot this book, I would say.
Yeah.
I guess all the Mercy needed was for Adam to freeze her out for a month.
You know, I think one of the things is like you can tell sort of that the series is coming to an end because we're tying up a lot of stuff.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be mad if it got extended for more books, but I don't think it is going to be extended for more books.
I would be wary of it being extended because I think like it's one of those things where like if it goes on too long, you're like, oh no.
Yeah, it could be too much of a good thing to the point where it goes bad.
Yeah.
But I will say that I have found this book, I know we haven't given ratings yet, but in my opinion, this book has been redemption because the last book wasn't great.
Yeah, agree. This whole book I was like, okay. I was like, and we're back.
Yeah, like I was so pleased with this book. And I mean that said though, it could be another Silence Fallen where like the first time we read it we're like, yeah, and then like we reread it in like 6 months and we're like, oh, okay.
So Silence Fallen, I think for me has fallen in with like a lot of the other earlier ones where I'm like, I like it a lot and I'm cool with it. You know,
yeah.
like it's like I like it a lot and it fits in well with the other ones. Whereas like, Storm Cursed, I'm like, yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of stuff in Storm Cursed that we both liked.
Like Larry, I love Larry.
I love Larry, but I mean, like for me, I think she's going to be hard pressed to write a book that I like in Mercy at least that I would rank lower than Rivermarked. I don't hate it as much. I mean, I never hated it, but I don't dislike it as much as the first time I read it because it was just a confusing read for me the first time.
Yeah,
but it's still the book that
drags the most.
That keeps me least engaged compared to the other ones. That has storylines that I just don't give a fuck about in general. I'm not gonna lie, like I really don't care about like the other, like the people that we meet in that book. I don't care about them at any point in the book.
And then in Storm Curse, like what I think, I just didn't enjoy myself as much.
Yeah. Well, also like, I think one of the reasons why we also liked this book a bit more is because there was no, and now, sorry to interrupt your regularly scheduled programming, but here is a PSA about our cause of the book.
Oh my God, yeah.
There was none of that this book. And honestly, this book was such a ride and I loved it.
It was what?
It was a ride.
Yeah, like I enjoyed it. It genuinely feels like one of the earlier books.
Yeah, and like I mean, the closest we got to like this is Warren and he's gay was like when Adam was like, Warren, go with Mercy downstairs, and then Mercy was like, so the significant thing about Adam choosing Warren for this task is XYZ.
But it also makes sense for her to explain it because it is a change in how Adam is behaving with Warren and Daryl and all of that.
Yeah.
So the explanation is actually better woven into the prose.
Yeah, and she also addressed something that I think happened at the beginning of Fire Touch where Mercy had the thought of Daryl's not going to stick around much longer.
Yes.
But then she said in this book, no, he is going to stick around because we're on a wild ride and he's having a great time.
Yeah. He's like, I don't want to be part of he's like, I don't want to lead a boring pack where like, we don't get attacked every 5 seconds.
Yeah, like Daryl is enjoying, like, and once the pack, and it shows as well, like the pack has been so unified, like in recent times because, yeah, they don't have time to squabble. And and as is in their nature, they love a fight, and this is what Mercy has given them. So they're accepting Mercy more. There's less squabbling. Yeah, it feels like we're approaching like the cheesy epilogue. That's how this book has felt. Like we're approaching.
Yeah.
Like you said, we're
Yeah.
tying up all of the loose ends.
Yeah, we're tying up a lot of loose ends. And so that's why I just kind of hope like we tie up Stefan.
I kind of hope that Stefan does die by the end. I'm not gonna lie, like I enjoy Stefan and everything, but he's just such a broken shell of who he was in book one.
There's not like you can't fix him in one book.
I don't think I think what the betrayal from Marcilla is something that even centuries wouldn't fix. I think the only way for him to have a happy ending is to go out a hero.
I kind of agree with that.
Like it's one of those things where like as long as it happens in the final book of this series, I will be okay with.
Yeah.
Because he's a good soul, like he's a good egg, but he's also evil, and that's something that he's always had a hard time, marrying his nature with his vampire nature.
Yeah. Like all Stefans.
Yes. All the Stefans. But yeah, no, I think the only way to cure Stefan, which if he's not fixed by the end of the series, then it would feel like a loss. But I think the only way to fix him is to kill him, but let him die a hero.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
So, where were we?
Brian said blow up the bond, and Mercy's like WTF. And then did she go into her other place yet?
I don't remember. I think Adam walks in and he's like, "Who the fuck you?" No, that was Beauclair.
Oh, that's right. She's like, "I need to go and do a talk to Adam."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Hey, Adam, we need to chat because I had a chat with Bran." And he's like, "Okay, where shall we chat?" And she's like, and she's trying to work out where to go. And she's like, "Well," and she's thinking because we need privacy because the house is full. And she's like, "Well, we can't go. I don't want to go to my house, like the house that her manufactured home. So we can't go there because I don't want to be haunted by this fucking ghost. While we're trying to have a serious chatty chat, let's go to the garage." And he's like, "Cool." So they go there, and because they're also trying to find the conversation with the people earlier in the day, Mercy realized that the invading wolves came into the shop a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, right, yeah.
So they're like, well, let's just do both. We'll have our chat, we'll get the footage and the phone number of the guy, all that stuff. And Adam's like, I'll go do the thing at the actual hub of the security system, not at your computer, because that's a false hub. And she's like, "Oh, well, that's good to know, I guess," type thing. So he goes out there, they're chatting, and he's like, "So what did you talk to Bran about?" And Mercy's like, "Wait, what?" And like hairs is standing up on end and shit, and she's like, "This is weird." And then like Adam's wolf voice comes down, he's like, "Mercy, run." And she's like, "No!" And Adam's like, "I'm gonna kill you." And then his wolf's like, "Run, Mercy." And she's like, "I don't know what to do." And then so she just does nothing, and then Adam turns into a monster.
Yep.
And they're in different rooms at this point, and she walks in, and Adam's standing there with a gun pointed to his head because like he's gonna try and kill himself before the monster kills Mercy.
Yep.
And that's when she goes into her other place, which is the place where she first saw physical representations of the pack bonds, her mating bond, her bond with Stefan, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And she sees her bond with Adam, and it's like a flexible ice rope, I guess.
Something like that.
And whereas Stefan's looks like effectively like torn, ragged lace that's turning to ash and is like wisping away. And she's like, "Well, that ain't good, but we'll worry about you later because Adam's about to kill himself." And then she remembers that, like, then she has the flashback of Beauclair saying, I can't remember what he says, but effectively it reminds her that words have power. So then And then she remembers a story that she heard about someone who was blessed by a fae. So every time she spoke, jewels came out of her mouth. And she's like, well, this is my magical place. So then she like pulls out a pearl and puts like I love you, Adam, into it and drops it onto the bond. And then comes back to reality. And Adam's like, oh, well, I'm not a monster anymore. And Miss is like, how dare you try and kill yourself?
Yeah.
And he's like, wait, what? And she's like, shame on you. And he's like, I'm sorry. And she's like, when did you know you were becoming a monster? And he's like, about the time. He's like, my wolf's known for fucking ages. But, because the wolf was also curled up in the other place. And he's like, I'm sad. And Mercy's like, we'll fix you, I promise. And he's like, my wolf's known for ages, but not me. And then I think it might have even happened when she was in the other place. I don't know. But then she kind of gets like a flashback to like the end of the last book.
Mm-hmm.
When
it happened in the other place. Yeah. Because like while she's in the other place, the wolf is like, your insecurities have power, bitch. Stop it.
And she's like, what do you mean? And he's like, I shall show you. So so we have like, fucking Ebenezer Scrooge moment, Ghost of Christmas past, present, and future, where she's like hovering over something that's already happened. But from a different perspective to which she originally witnessed it. And she can kind of feel it as well. So she's looking at the opposite way where Elizabeth kisses Adam while she's butt naked and young. And Adam's like, ah! And then, as he's about to go and snap a neck, Elizabeth realizes what he's doing and she gives him a death curse. Which a normal witch curse is broken when they die, but because she gave it to him as she was dying, it was like a death curse. Like, yeah, it's stuck. And it was more or less, you're a monster, you always have been, you always will be.
And it also stuck because Adam already believed it.
Yes. If Adam was like, fuck you, boo, then like it probably wouldn't have stuck. But she got him right where it hurt. So they're like, well, fuck, this is a thing we're going to have to deal with. And so then her and Adam have like a big argument, but not like argument, but Mercy's like, I love you, you fucking idiot. And he's like, I'm sorry. And she's like, I don't care if you're sorry. Don't do it again. That kind of argument. And they're like, and Adam's like, look, I'm sorry, but we're going to just have to put this on the back burner for a little bit. And she's like, well, fine, I guess. But then we don't have to deal with, but he keeps the bond pretty closed up, though, and we don't really have to deal with that too much until the end of the book.
Yeah.
So that storyline's been put on pause for now. Now, moving on, they find this guy's info and shit. Oh, because also when she was talking to Bran was like, hey, look, these guys are good. I want to save them if you can. Fiona and her mate can do a dead. That's cool. And this other guy, use your best judgment. And Miss is like, cool. So she calls up this guy and she's like, hey, by the way, Fiona's not who you think she is. She's a baddie. And he's like, no, she's not. And she's like, yes, she is. But Bran wants to save you guys. So, like, if you want to, let me know. And that's pretty much that combo, hey?
Yeah.
So then they go back. They're still trying to work out what to do about the smoke monster and everything. And Mercy is like, I know what to do. Does anything happen before they start the confrontation?
I don't think so.
Okay, good.
I think at this point it's like we're just going.
Yeah, so Mercy's got a plan, and then the next day, her and Adam go out to brunch, and they're doing a brunch. And there's, like, oh, look, Mercy, what happened to your face? And Mercy's like, I hate being a celebrity in my town. And then she gets a phone call from the wife of, like, one of the thumbs up invaders. And she's like, he's being turned to stone. And they're like, oh, crap, that's a smoke bitten thing. So, like, then they go to do a thing, and Mercy's like, well, this just moved our timetable up because this guy's about to die.
Yep.
So then they're like, everyone's getting there. Ben's there too because she's like, I need Ben here to communicate with it. And so they'll, but also when they're on the phone as well, like this wife chick is like thumbs up definitely because she's also like, oh, by the way, Fiona's out off to go kill a Kyle. And they're like, well, that ain't good. So So Adam's sorting that shit out while Mercy's getting to Stone Dude. But then it turns out that then they're not actually going there, but we'll worry about that later.
Yeah.
Let's prioritize like Mercy did. So Mercy's like, hey, Ben, I need to do a thing with the thing. And he's like, okay, I guess, And then she's like, hey, thing, I want to do a bargain. Oh, because Barbie, no, because she also contacted Ariana. She emailed her. And Ariana's like, the important thing with bargains is they need to be balanced. An unbalanced bargain is not a bargain. So Mercy words it all in a way that it's balanced, but effectively, you shall come, you shall bite me in your most powerful form.
You have to come. She says specifically, like in flesh and bone.
Yeah.
Meaning that, like, it is actually, instead of being like in smoke or in like a puppet, a meat puppet.
Yeah.
It has to be you.
Yeah.
Is what she's saying.
Yeah. So she words it in a way ultimately saying like, yeah, you yourself physically as a person or Fae individual has to come here and do a bite. Because, and he's like, why would you let me bite you? She's like, because I'm curious to see if my power can beat your power, type thing. And if you do so, like if I fail, whatever, you got me. Well done. But yeah, like you shall be able to ask me one question, which I shall answer, and I shall offer you one truth. So it's like bargain accepted. So, like Jesse and Aiden are there, like half the pack's there, like it's a big group gathering. Like there is no social distancing in this book.
It was written before Corona.
Yes, and it's also set before Corona, so we're fine.
Yeah.
So, and also they're all wolves, so they're good.
Yeah.
They rock up, like, so Smoke Dude rocks up, and he's like, I shall do a bite. So he does a bite. And Mercy's like, well, fuck, this sucks. Like, I'm having a hard time finding it this time. And then she's like, hang on, my friend's power is my power too. So then she like goes back into her other place thing and does a thing. And like imagines the Walkie comes back, like the whole gang's back together again.
What happens first is that she goes in there and she realizes that like the smoke is like yeeting around and going towards like where Adam is, and she's like, what the fuck? And then Tilly rocks up and she's like, and she's like, thanks for inviting me in. And she's like, I fucking didn't. And she's like, well, you invited my power here, so like fuck you. And then she's like, oh, so because like,
and all the pieces.
So she's like, so because Tilly gifted the power, it was always Tilly's, it was never his, so therefore interesting.
Yes, also poor, because I don't know if it happens here or if she has she had a conversation with Tilly earlier. She went and knocked on the door. She's like, Tilly, talk to me, damn it.
Oh yeah.
Because Tilly's bargain with this guy was like, she gave him power to make, or like the ability to make himself stronger and stuff like that. In turn, she could take him, but it was never that. But the bargain never included that he had to stay once she had taken him.
Yeah.
So yeah,
she flubbed it.
Yeah. So then back to Mercy's other world with Tilly there. It all comes together that his power isn't his power, it's Tilly's power, and Tilly takes it all back because in the wording of the bargain, much like how once Tilly takes him, he doesn't have to stay. Once she gives him the power, she doesn't have to let him keep it. So
Mercy has to get
comes up as well.
So Mercy has to get Tilly out of here.
Yeah.
And so walking stick.
Yeah, and I thought that was going to be the end of the like. Part of me was like, is Walkie going to come back with?
Oh no! Is this a me problem? Okay, good. You froze, and I was like, oh shit.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I was like, well, this is the end of it, but that was fun because my note was like, oh, even when the walking stick is dead, Deus walking stick ex machina, and I am here for it.
Yeah.
Because you know what, the reason why it made sense to me was like the walking stick died in Underhill, so it made sense that like it could come back because Underhill is there.
Well, and not just that, but like we're talking about also about like I guess realm. I guess would be a good word for it. A realm where
Things are very floaty.
yeah, like Mercy was
Also, the walking stick is talking to her. Sorry.
Yeah.
It talked to her. It's a thing. It made me happy.
But like Mercy spat out a pearl in the last.
Yeah,
like things are not the normal rules of physics and science and life in general do not exist there.
Yeah.
So, and in Mercy's head as well, the walking stick was just a physical manifestation of the power that she was using.
Yeah.
So that happened. But then, yeah, so that all happens, and then she comes back to reality, and she's like, lol, and he's like, you cheated. You didn't do the right thing. You did a naughty. And she's like, no, I just used my power. Like, the power of my friends and stuff is also my power, and this and that. And he's like, well, that's not nice. And then his question was, because he got to ask her a question that she had to answer, and then she got to offer him one truth. So the question was, why couldn't I take you? Or what are you? Or something.
Yes, I think.
And it was effectively like, I am chaos, I am Coyote's daughter, I am this, I am that, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I can't remember how much of this was the answer to his question and how much of it was give me 1 second.
You're fine.
And how much was the truth that she offered. So we'll just do the whole thing so it was all just one thing.
Okay.
Effectively, Tilly let him out on purpose because she wants her power back, because the Fae aren't being nice and she's mad at them because she's a toddler. So she wanted to reclaim all of the power that she's given away, and the reason that she did the door in Mercy's backyard was and then drove Mercy out of the house was in the hopes that Mercy would be the first one that the smoke monster would bite, and Mercy would take him down, and it would all be a thing, and it would all be over like that. Tilly planned it all from the start. She was supposed to get her power back.
Yeah.
And Mercy's just like you with the sacrificial lamb, because she gave you some of her power. It was never yours.
Yeah.
So joke's on you, Rumpelstiltskin. And then the earth opens up and he falls into a hole.
Yeah. And then after that, we deal with and it's not, the details aren't important, but we deal with
everyone's fine.
We deal with the rogue pack. We deal with Adam, and everything's fine and dandy.
Yeah.
And the walking stick is back.
Yeah. So no, not yet. That's how the book ends. We've got other.
I know.
Oh, okay. So yeah, the rogue pack, the other members of the rogue pack go to Bran's pack. Ben's fine, Stefan's fine. Dude unstoned because he's off with Bran now. And then it's been a month.
Yeah.
And they stopped worrying about Fiona's mate got killed because they tried to attack the house, and one of the wives of one of the wolves shot him with a silver bullet and he died.
Yeah.
Mercy's security system's been glitchy. So Adam's like, I'll go check it out. It's been glitchy again. She rocks up to work a few hours later. And she's like, this is all weird. And then Fiona's like, well. And then she ties Mercy up, and then Adam's monster comes back out and it starts to eat her. Fiona, not Mercy. Mercy's like, well, fuck. And then she goes and does a Bond blow up thing. We're in Adam's other place, and she kills Elizabeth there because she's just hanging out. And then Adam's fine, and Mercy's fine, and everyone's fine. And then the walking stick is physically back.
Yes.
And end book.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't really want to go into detail talking about Adam's other place, but yeah, effectively, Elizabeth was still chilling out there, and she's like, no, and killed her.
Yeah. So I guess like the loose ends that we still have.
Mercy's not pregnant yet.
And then Ben is kind of sad. Ben's sad boy right now.
Yeah, because they put him back into a victim mentality thing. So he's taken all of his available leave from work and he's living with Mercy and Adam.
So,
Also, sorry, this was just a little aside thing. Way earlier in the book, one of Jesse's friends gives Mercy an apologetic look, and Mercy's like, "What the fuck's that for?" We find out towards the end that her mum is the one that sold her she's the Avon lady from a few books earlier.
oh.
And she accidentally, because Mercy made a joke about how Adam's a sex fiend, like just to fuck with this woman's head. And she accidentally spoke to a tabloid about it, and it's all over that Adam's a sex fiend. And yeah, so I did like, that's the thing with Mercy as well. Like, there's like all of these like little tiny things that are just in there for the lols.
Yeah, that was funny.
But it ends, the book, I'm pretty sure, ends with a nudge. Because Nudge is back. Nudge is throughout this book.
I don't like it.
For those of you that haven't followed the Mercy saga with us, Nudge is their way of saying, let's do fuck. And that scene, that woman is how the nudge comes up. Because Mercy's like, I don't know, it's like he just gets the nudge and then it just happens. And then so since then they've just, every time one of them wants to fuck, they're just like, hey, Nudge. Oh, also, because, okay, so the scene where Mercy and Adam have sex after, like, them being, you know, however, everyone in the house knows that they've had sex,
yes,
including Jesse. And everyone's just like, well done, Mercy. You put Dad in a good mood. And it's just like, this is a freaking weird conversation to be having with your stepdaughter.
Yes, it was weird.
Like, I can't imagine, like, if, like,
I mean,
Sticks and I got into a rut when my kids are older. And then, like, we do fuck and things are good. Like, he's in a good mood. And then I just can't imagine one of my kids going, hey, Mum, good job last night. Ugh. You know? Ugh. Like, it's creepy, right?
Yes. I didn't like it.
But then, like, you know, I think...
But then again, she made Brandon in love with her. So, like, what the fuck?
I know. I think Jessie was the first one that brought it up, but like about 5 or 6 other people were like, good job, Mercy. And I'm just like, can we stop talking about it?
Including Dad.
Yeah. And it's just like, can we just stop?
Like, it's like, we know that people who are married do fuck and we don't talk about it.
Yeah, and I also understand that within the confines of a wolf pack, you know, like, if Mercy and Adam's relationship is going a bit funky, it affects the whole pack and stuff like that. I know that. But also, like, can't they just be, like, quietly grateful that
yes.
they fuck? Like, you know.
It's weird.
I feel like if I was in a wolf pack, right, and the alpha and his missus were like, you know, things were a bit tense, and then, yeah, they banged and were happy again, I wouldn't be like, good job, alpha's missus. I feel like I'd be like, oh, well, thank fuck for that.
Yeah, like, because it's not a thing that you say. And if you're, and look, and the only time that you'd say something like that is if, like, it's your best friend and you'd say it in private.
Yes. I'd be like, it's about fucking time. Well done, you.
Yeah, you'd be like, well done, you. Good job.
It's been a minute since you wet a dick. I'm glad you got to do it again.
Yeah, but, like, you don't. You know, it was weird.
Yeah, like, I know that they're a lot more open with each other than ordinary people are, but it's just,
it was weird.
I'm not.
It was weird.
I don't want to read it.
So, anyway.
That's all.
We don't know when like the next thing is happening, I guess.
Yeah, it'll be in the next week.
Yeah.
And that'll be bad book week with the third book of
Strange Angels.
I forgot for a second what it was called. Yes, book 3 of Strange Angels, and Addie shall be joining us. And sometime in the next week, keep an eye out on. Are you still updating the website before I plug it? Yes.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on Teresa J. Martin. Is that
Yeah.
the website?
Yeah. .com.
.com.
Yeah, that gets updated, and yeah, that's where we update the website so that you guys know like what's happening next. After the next like good book week stuff that we're doing is the Shifter series.
Yeah, we've done the first 2 books.
Yes.
And so we shall be completing that series because we got distracted by other shiny books.
Yes.
And I think that's about it.
That is about it. And
excellent.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you guys next